Okay guys, I want to do a quick video here on rotations. Okay, now I'm going to just start off here with a T again like I did on the last video. So that's going to be 30. I'm going to put, it's an upside down T, and that's going to be 30 as well. So there's T. I'm going to call this P and that X. Now, if that gets rotated clockwise 120, and that's P3, and I'm going to call this over here P4. So it goes from P3 to P4 and it gets rotated 120 degrees clockwise. Now look, what you could do is you could rotate it here. So that would be an angle of 120 degrees. Now if you know your set squares, you know that 90 plus 30 is 120, so that's 120 degrees as well. So I'm going to draw this in red here maybe, just to show you. So that would be 120 degrees. There's the middle. And here is my T thing. So that's rotated now 120 degrees here. The problem is it's not moved, so I could slide it down here now. So that's the right angle, but it's in the wrong place. But I could, now that I know the angle, I could move that down. So that's going to stay 30 mil, and the center of that and this sticks out 30. Okay, so now that is the right answer. The problem is it's not done the right way. Okay, so we have the right answer, but that is not the, the right way to do it. Now I'm going to just set up another one over here, right beside it here, and I'm going to do it the proper method. So there's there's my T again, just get the center of that. Okay, so there's P. I'll call the other end X, and I want it to come down to, I'm going to call that P3, and this is, just pick a random P4 down here again. But I'm going to do this the proper way, so I want to join P3 to P4. I want to bisect that with my compass. So more than halfways. So I'm bisecting that line, and I'm making a triangle here. Now it's rotating clockwise, so the center must be at this side. And I'm going to make a triangle. If I want to rotate it 90, this goes back to basic geometry then. If I sketch a triangle up here, if the angle here is 90, this must be 45 and 45, because the three angles have to make up. So it's 180 minus 90 gives you 90, and then 90 divided by 2 is 45. So the angles in the triangle must be 45 degrees. So I want to build a triangle over here where the angle at the center is 90. So I'm going to get my protractor, go off here at 45 degrees. Now that is the center. And see, we did it over here without ever finding a center and doing proper rotation. So now this triangle that I've made here, that's 45 degrees and this is 45 degrees and that angle here is 90 degrees. So what you want to do then is just swing this arc here to show that P3 and P4 are on the same arc. Then X is on this arc and the end of the T is on this arc. So I'm swinging them all down. Now how to find point X and the end of the T there, I'll just call that E for the end of the T. So how to find them? Now if you if you know that from P to X must be 30. So if P is here, X must be 30 away and X must be on this arc. So that's PX. And we know that the distance from P to the end here, I'm just going to measure that. So it has to be on there. And it must be the same distance from X as well. And you can see that they're all working out, and we know it comes from the middle of this 30mm line. So there is our T. Same. No, it's not. Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. See I was going to say, this one I did 120, whereas this one I did 90. Oh yeah, that's why. So they're both rotated. This one got rotated 90, but you see, if you don't do it this way, you're going to lose marks for not having the right method. That is why you've got to do it the right method. So what I'm going to do there is I'm going to do another one here now. I'm going to just draw a box here, just to get away from the T. I'll just draw an L maybe actually. So I'm going to go 40. Not sure, I'll just make a box out of it. It's much the same thing anyway. So 40 by 30 box. I'm going to call this P, going to call that X, and here is the new position for P1. So it gets from P to P1, and I'm going to do this one 120 degrees. So, and I'm going to do this now the proper way again. So it goes clockwise again. So I'll just write this up here, 120 degrees clockwise. So join P to P1, bisect that with the compass, now if the angle, now what I'm going to do there now is, I know the center is down here somewhere. I'm just going to sketch the triangle like this. So if the angle here is 120, it must be 30 here and 30 there. So if I go off at a 30 degree angle from one of them, I'm going to get the center that I'm looking for. So here is my 30 degree angle. So that's the center. I'm going to finish the triangle now. I'm going to put in the angles as well here in red so that you can see them. So that's 30. This is 30. So that's 120, which is the angle I want to rotate through. And just to prove it to myself, I'm going to put an arc here now. So there's P rotated 120. So I'm going to bring X next. And we know the distance from P to X must be that far. So, and seeing as sort of X is behind P, so as it goes along, it's going to be there. So that's PX. And now to finish it there then, like I know because there's 90 degrees angles in this, you could go off and rotate them all, but we know this must be a 90 degree angle. That must be a 90 degree angle. And I could now swing the arc because I know that that corner must be here. And that last corner must be there. So like that's going to give it to me. But I still think it's probably more accurate because we knew that was 40. I still think it's probably more accurate even though that worked out perfect. And like a quarter of a mil there now, possibly like so. So that is done. Right guys, so that was, I just realised there now that was off the camera there a small bit, but look. So what I did there, I'll just zoom in on that, was join P to P1, bisect it. Because we want to go 120, I need to build 30 and 30 for my angles here. Well, 130 will do. Because they're those are, I'll just pen this down another bit. So I did a little sketch there. Sorry. I did a little sketch there. So just pick any random point P, join P to P1, picked anywhere, bisect it, go off at 30 degrees. That's the center for rotating. And then I found X next, and then I found the two top corners. So what I'm going to do there now next is I'm going to just do another one slightly different. I'm going to just draw one over here. So this last one I'm going to draw just a random, and I'm going to turn it at an angle as well, just to make it a bit different. So I'm going to draw a rectangle here. I'll make that around some even number anyway, 30. Okay, been doing this too long. Alright, so that's 30 by 40. Our next problem is we're going to pick this as P and I'm going to pick that as X. And I'm going to want to take this one anti-clockwise 120. About, this is going to be the center. So this one I'm going to do a little bit differently. I'm going to say rotate about center 120 degrees anti-clockwise. Okay, so we want to go anti-clockwise as in this direction 120. So I'm going to be joining P to there. I know the angle at the center is going to be 120. So I'm going to step off that angle 120 at the center. So that's 120. And I'm going to swing this arc so I'll rotate this 120. That's the new position for P. I'll just join these now as well, even though I don't need to, but I just will, just to show our triangle. So that's 30 degrees, 30 degrees, and 120 degrees. So basically the rotation is about making a triangle with the angle you want to rotate at the center, and the remainder then split into two for an isosceles triangle. So to finish this off, obviously I want to find X next. So just set it up here with our compass arc, swing that. So it's going to be over here somewhere, and again, because it's sort of here, I know it's going to be up around here somewhere, but it's going to be 30 away from P. So it's going to be there. Now this is going to be gone off the sheet now, I fear, or very close to it. But if you weren't certain, another way you could find it is you can join every point that gets rotated through an angle of 120 degrees. So I've just joined X to the center, and I'm going to set off an angle of 120 degrees. And there's X. So that's another way you can join every single point and go off at 120 degrees. And because that's my angle now, and I know it's 90 degrees, what I could do there is just line this up. And I'll just go off to 90 degrees perpendicular, perpendicular. We know that this distance here must be 43. And as I feared, that might be barely gone off the page here now. But the bottom line, to do it properly, you've got to find the center by building a triangle and swinging the arcs. Now, it's easy enough. As I looked at in the very first video there, like, it's very easy to figure out the angle it should be and to draw it, but you will lose marks if you don't find the center and do the rotations. So it's easy to find it in the new angle, put it in that position and draw it, and you know, you'll probably get like half the marks or whatever. There'll be 16 marks for that, but like, you're going to lose marks by doing it that way. You will have the right answer, but you need to do the center and the rotation and all that really to get the full marks. So let's do the sheet, let's copy the sheet, and then that's a good exercise.